Here we are again for another session of Q&A with the Gardening Grandma. That's me, and a look behind the scenes at the Gardens for Us Community Hub. And with me today is Elizabeth Dufresne, who is the founder of the Gardens for Us Community Hub and co-creator with myself and another partner, Nancy Lee Bentley, who's not with us here today, but we will be showing you a little bit for behind the scenes. To start with, I had another video recording of someone who's having some problems with their plants.
Hey, gardening grandma, I've got another problem here. I've got this little begonia thing, and I've got a lot of dead little flowers, and I've been deadheading them and trying to do stuff. And when I look at the soil and I figure out, okay, what's going on here, it's wet. And then I look at the bottom, it doesn't have water building up underneath, so I don't think it's too wet, but it's not looking so good. And I put it out here where it has indirect light. What do I do? Gardening grandma, help me.
All right, so there we have another one about getting to know your plants. When you have issues with your plants like that, the best thing you can do is to get to know your plant and find out what its needs are and where, if you're growing it in the right place, having the right plants in the right place. And when you know what they need, then being observant and giving them what they need when they need it. And we did it, our previous Q&A session was on another problem my same friend here was having with one of her plants. So if you want to look that up, it's on our YouTube channel, Gardens for Us.
Yes, I think they should be able to find it okay. There are a couple of other ones that are close to it, and you might have to scroll a little bit, but you'll find it, and it'll say Community Gardens in the banner.
Yay. Okay, so you can look at that episode because we did go into more depth about getting to know your plants and sharing a wonderful mentor we will be having all about what's wrong with my plant. So with this here, she has a begonia, and there's different types of begonias. This one, it would be what is known as a fibrous root begonia. There's other ones that are tuberous roots, and you treat them a little bit differently. And these, they grow in tropical regions. So they need that warmer weather. You wouldn't want them to drop below like 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 above centigrade. That's too much for them. And like up here, I live in Canada where it's very cold, but I do have one of those fibrous begonias growing in my yard. I treat it like an annual, but really, or else sometimes I'll bring them inside. But really, they are perennials, but down in zone 9 to 11, which is very much different to our zone here. And this, when she said, she felt the top of the soil and it was moist, and then the bottom, she didn't feel like it was sitting in water. But with the begonias, you want to have like moderate watering, so you let the top layer soil start to dry before you water it again. And I don't like to see, I know it's very decorative to have those tinfoil, colored tinfoil wrappings around your pot, but that's interfering with the drainage. And they do like to have good drainage. So that may be causing maybe the root ends starting to rot a little bit. And that might be why she's getting that browning in the flowers, because another cool thing about these fibrous begonias is that they're self-cleaning for their flowering. Like most flowering plants, or a lot of the ones, to keep them flowering, you deadhead the, once they've finish the bloom, you want to deadhead it before they go to seed. So they keep producing those blooms, trying to reproduce itself and just stopping that cycle. Where the beauty of those begonias, they're supposed to be self-cleaning. So that gets me wondering, like, why is she having the brown flowers mixed in with that? I'm a little suspicious that there may be some rotting in the roots there. So the fertilizing too, it's like a monthly a light fertilizer. If you've got it in a bigger pot or in the ground, you can put that slow release fertilizer so it feeds throughout the season. The light, she did have the right idea to have it in indirect light, bright but indirect light. And actually, if you were having them planted outside, they could get that morning sun, which is not so intense, but you really have to protect them from any direct afternoon sun there. So, and another beautiful thing about the begonias is that they are a flower that will grow in the shade. They will flower in the shade, which for me is a big struggle. I have a lot of shade in my yard, and I'm always looking for those beautiful blooms that will happen in the shade. Oh, another thing about begonias that I found really fascinating, I had taken a horticultural class, and it was through the extension, university extension program. And they let us, it was a propagations class, and they let us go into their greenhouses and propagate some of their plants. And they had a huge selection of different begonias. Like, they are lots and lots of different begonias that have all different patterning on their leaves, and they're very, very easy to propagate. The begonia that was shown in this video here, you can propagate that by a stem cutting. So if you've got like a 3 to 4 inch stem that isn't flowering, that you can cut that, remove any of the lower foliage, and you can put it in some light seed starting mix, or a mix that has the perlite, a lot of perlite or vermiculite, so it's well drained and also retains a lot of moisture. So like the peat or the coconut fiber in there. And you can dip it in a little bit of root hormone for boosting its rooting, but that isn't even necessary. So you put that into the that porous soil that is moistened, and then you take a plastic bag and just make a little greenhouse covering over it to keep that moisture in, and put it in a bright light, but definitely with that plastic covering, not into the direct sunlight. And then you'll have a whole other begonia plant started. But the other way with the begonias, it was really cool because you could take the different types of begonias would have some really quite large leaves. And you just take the leaf of one of these ones that you're growing for foliage. The name I believe was Rex begonias. And on the leaves, you'll see the veins on them. They're quite defined. And you can just put little cuts along the veins. And then you're going to put that side, like have a tray of peat or moist, light potting seed starting soil. And you just press that down into that moistened peat or seed starting soil with the cut side, vein side down. You can use little pins or something to stabilize it in the soil, but even just pressing it down, and it'll start to grow little plants right out from where those cuts were. Fascinating. Nature is fascinating. The plants, they do want to propagate themselves. So I hope that helps you with your begonia plant there. And for others, again, remember we do have that session about getting to know your plants. And now I'd love to turn over to Elizabeth for our look behind the scenes at the Gardens for Us Community Hub, where she's going to highlight our profiles and the directory that we have on the hub.
This particular hub, the Gardens for Us Community Hub, is still in pre-launch and certain parts of it are in beta. But I'd like to describe one of the features. Working together is really facilitated by communication. And we have a way for people to communicate. So when you first come in with a free account or any other type of membership level, once we are launched, you'll be prompted to fill out your profile. And the profile is up here in the upper right-hand side. And you would be able to fill it out, your name, your real name, and your email address. That is not shared with anyone else because the emails that you send stay within the Community Hub. You may or may not put down a phone number, your job title, or your company, but you get to put in your bio, your location, because we have locations are searchable, and any of your social links, your websites, your YouTubes, your LinkedIns. You can add as many links as you have of all of the various platforms. So you can so that people can find you and know more about you. So I will get out of that. And I think what's really important is right down at the bottom, directory visibility. It's your choice on whether you want anyone in the community to be able to find you or not. So if it's not, you don't turn it on. And that's make your profile public in the directory. So I will get out of the profile now and go over to the dashboard. This is where you land whenever you open up. So in the community, this is for everybody. Everybody can see the groups. Everybody can do member feeds and create posts and respond to posts. But I'm focusing in on the directory this time. And in the directory, you can search for someone by name. You can search for city. You can search for a country, and only the people from a particular country will show. Or you can search by a particular city, such as the one I am in, so that you could actually find people that are close to you. Perhaps you want to do a project together in person related to gardening. But what is really, really interesting, I find, about the directory is that everyone who has said that they want to be shown in the directory, anyone in the community that has a free account or any account of any level can view your profile, can locate you, view your profile. And we keep it secure because all you get to see as someone interested in meeting you is what you have put in your about, in your bio. And also any social accounts that you listed. What is really important here, and I think it's quite unique, is that you can communicate directly with that person by sending a message. So you can write in your message, click on send message, and then that message actually goes into the inbox of the person that you sent it to without ever leaving the site. and without anyone knowing what your actual login email is. So I hope that this will be really valuable for that working together and getting to know other people and to sharing your expertise. And that's behind the scenes of our upcoming Gardens for Us Community Hub.
Right. I love that idea that it really is about growing together, growing in community, and that aspect of being able to communicate with each other. And I especially love that you can find people closer to your area. So you can have meetups and maybe do a plant exchange, and just as when you came to visit me, we exchanged plants. You bought me plants, I gave you plants, and it's such a wonderful thing to be able to do. So I I would encourage folks. I know right now the hub is just the waiting list, so we can contact you with our updates. But soon we'll get it up so you can come in on the free level, enjoy all the courses, get your profile done, and start to meet other gardeners, share, learn from trusted voices, and support each other, find the support you need. And it's all about growing together.